pronoun trouble.
Welcome to another episode of What's the Hook podcast. I'm your host, Bileko Wissa, here with
Keenan Baker, always.
and
Huca Bera.
And last but not least, Mrs.
Meeko Cicero.
Al Negative. All right, so we have another great episode for y'all and a really dope episode that I'm very excited about. We're dealing with black animation with
Niles, Abston, what's up?
We'll add sound effects, bro.
Yeah, we'll add sound effects. This is my hot breath through these braces.
Word up.
He's still mad
I'm so salty
Never
about
lie.
that. Still salty about that.
Never lie.
I use mouthwash.
Never lie.
He rewinded the tape like a few times.
Right.
Oh, if you put an insert of that clip right there, right after
I
he
know,
said that,
yeah, right,
that'll
right.
be hilarious,
There, right,
dog.
we put it right in. We're making Odin do more work. But no. So Niles, you do animation. I love your animation called Planet Black.
Thank you.
Right. I think that shit is fucking like dope. You talk on it's funny because even though you only have like a trailer up, you deal with like there was like funny. First of all, the animation is clean. You even use political satire.
That's my favorite kind of comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's funny. We got a guy here that loves the politics and religion comedy.
Okay.
He loves that. But so how did you get into animation, especially being like a black? I just put black animation. I have to put a race in front of it, but animation for years never included black or brown people. So
sure.
like, how did you get into animation?
Well, I didn't actually animate the show. So
Oh, then why are you here? No, I'm kidding.
I was confused too. Like, what's,
Get us the real nigga.
I created the show 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Wrote the pilot with my homie Eric Abonante, who I also started my YouTube channel with, Channel 310.
Uh-huh.
And
Holla.
we found this animator out here, young black guy. His name's Chaz.
Uh-huh.
So good.
Yeah.
And he animated the show for us and kind of did exactly like what I wanted it to look like. It's kind of crazy,
Yo.
but it's like exactly how I saw it.
When you guys, we're gonna put the link on the YouTube and on
Yeah.
the Instagram. Y'all need to watch it. This shit is fucking like dope.
Thank you.
I'm trying to tell you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Well, yeah. Chaz animates it, and my co-creator Eric Abonante, who I brought the idea to about 2 years after I came up with it, he wrote the last draft of the pilot with me. So
Okay.
yeah.
So like, what kind of like influenced you like to get into like animation? Like, cause I remember off camera we were talking about animation. I was like, damn. As a kid, my favorite cartoon was Wolverine, a white dude, which is nothing wrong with that because X-Men is dope.
Yeah.
But I was like, when Black Panther came out, I didn't even know about Black Panther.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I didn't know.
didn't?
No,
The
as a
movie?
kid. No, the kid. As a child, like I didn't know about that animation Black Panther.
Wow.
I didn't know
Yeah.
like about Black
Yeah.
Panther as a hero probably to about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like,
'Cause that's when I really like kind of got into comic books when I was like 18, 19.
Oh,
So.
okay.
right.
But yeah, growing up, just like you said, most cartoons were either white or Tom and Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yo.
And I thought Proud Family broke a lot of barriers. That one was really
Definitely
dope.
did.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, I think the best cartoon of all time is Boondocks. That's my favorite.
I missed them.
Yeah, ain't
Right.
that crazy? But
That's it's funny you bring up Boondocks because I remember I'm just dating my age when I was younger. I used to always get newspapers.
and the Boondocks.
Watch
Boondocks was
Boondocks,
on. I would
yep.
always read every Sunday. I was like, yo, I wanna read.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I watched the interview Aaron McGruder did, the creator of the show, when he was like 23.
Mhm.
He was like the first black comic strip writer to get like this huge newspaper deal.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever got that before.
Wow.
He got put in like 150 newspapers, and he was only like 23 years old.
Damn.
He was still in college.
That's dope.
Yeah, and so then that gave him grounds to make the TV show. But yeah, man, like that's and I love South Park too.
Right.
Me and Eric always say we want to be like the next Matt and Trey, the two guys that created South
Yeah.
Park. And so just growing up, I always loved cartoons because I think like I grew up in the South, and I feel like for like a black kid, like the thing you have is your imagination, you know. And so I always wanted a cartoon, and then I got into stand-up comedy, which kind of like got my comedy writing chops up, and I'd always loved screenwriting.
Right.
And so I was like, I should just write my own show. And 2016, 2017, I was homeless for the most part.
Damn.
Yeah, nigga, it was
No,
it was rough.
it's all good, man.
But yeah, I would just like smoke a bunch of weed.
Very good, very good.
And I was high with a friend one time, and we were talking about how like in the South, how weed is just so criminalized, because that's one thing I really care about is decriminalization of marijuana.
Yeah.
And we were just saying how like, it's crazy to like come from the South and just be smoking weed like out in the open out here in LA like it's nothing, when I know like so many niggas that have a record locked up. Like even
Right.
I had like
Yep.
a weed charge in high school.
Mhm.
And I started joking around. I was like, shit, the only safe place for a nigga to sell weed is space. And we were like,
shit.
oh shit, that'd be a dope show.
That sounds like some high shit right there.
I was
Yeah.
high
It
as fuck, man. And so like I just laughed about it, and then maybe like a week or two later, I started kind of taking it seriously and started writing notes in my phone.
Right.
And then about a couple months later, I actually started like kind of writing the pilot. So yeah.
Yo,
Mm.
that's
Thank the weed.
So
Thank the weed, man.
So what was the first cartoon that you watched that was like, nigga, that like kind of got you to a place where you just like, either I want to get into this field, or that just kind of like that made you fall in love with animation?
Let's see. Well, watching Rick and Morty made me realize I could make one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me like, yo, this cartoon is like weird and specific, and they just do whatever the fuck they want with it, but it's
Right.
okay because it's funny. And I was like, all right, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So like that show, I think, made me want to make a cartoon, like write a cartoon. But I mean, there's so many shows that definitely like influenced me. Just like what you said with the X-Men cartoon, I think that was a great one. Definitely Proud Family, like I was saying. SpongeBob is like one of my favorites, of
Hilarious.
course.
Me too.
Yeah, like
SpongeBob is low key dark if you get all the shit.
oh,
Right.
it definitely is.
yeah.
Like when you think about it, people always say like when you become an adult, you realize Squidward was right the whole time.
Word.
Oh shit.
I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you become an adult, you realize like we're all Squidward. We're just like
yeah, we're just grumpy as fuck.
life sucks,
Yeah.
and niggas is happy all the time and singing and shit. I want to punch them in the face.
Word.
So like
Yeah.
that's Squidward.
Jeez.
But as a kid, you're like, man, Squidward a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so
Yeah.
mean, and
Yeah.
SpongeBob's just living his life. Because think about it, if you work in a dead-end minimum wage job with some fat dude that don't want to pay you, and there's this goofy nigga that comes in every day singing songs, squeaking boots, talking about
Yeah.
this snail he owns, you want to beat the shit out of him.
You gonna be very. I went back to my 9 to 5 days and got very upset at this.
No, I'm thinking about it right now.
Like,
Hot.
there's this episode where Squidward like realizes he's just living like a routine every day, and it does like this montage of just like the same shit every day.
Fuck.
Yeah,
and I'm
and he
like,
just gets
yo,
more and
that's
more
being an
depressed.
adult. Oh my
Oh,
god! And you just
yeah.
realize Squidward's just a depressed adult that had dreams of being a musician, and it never happened.
Speaking of old
Yo.
cartoons we used to watch, what about Arthur and that new situation that popped
Isn't that
up?
crazy?
Yeah.
I didn't even know Arthur was still on.
Yeah, yeah.
So that blew
Yeah.
my mind.
Cornelia did a
Period.
great
Video
Instagram about that.
Well, yeah, I
but-
didn't know it was still on either.
Did y'all watch the episode?
No.
No.
I don't know where to watch
don't-
it. Where can you
yeah.
watch our?
It's
We
it,
don't know.
all right. It's funny because I don't have a problem with anybody's sexuality.
Right.
I just have a problem with kids being taught about sexuality
Why?
because their brains can't comprehend sexuality yet.
Mm.
You're a child.
You mean like at a certain age?
Yeah. Like so if you're like 10 watching Author,
Mhm.
you're
I
those
think at 10 you know what.
But are
like,
you
the
being
differentiate.
Are you being taught sexuality? Because in every other cartoon, you see a heterosexual couple,
That's interesting.
and
Yeah.
so this cartoon,
So we're
you
already
see.
kind of getting taught that.
So I mean, you're never really taught it. It's just kind of like this is the world right now. This is what's gonna be
Yeah, it's
around
like-
you anyway.
The way that
Hmm.
I see it is like you're not really teaching them like how to be gay. Like
Yeah.
you need to be gay. It's like you're showing them like
Hey,
right,
they're around.
here are heteros and here are gays. Like
Yeah.
this is like all types of relationships that are here. Like you choose which one works for you.
Right.
You're not teaching your kid, all right, well, you kiss boys, so now you can kiss boys and that's okay. Like you can.
It's crazy 'cause I
but
never thought about
you're
it
not
like
teaching
that.
your child to be gay. Your child is gay if your child is gay.
Because I see what they're doing
what I'm
because
saying?
straight is always the default because
Word.
we have privilege as straight
Mm.
people,
Mm.
and so it's just like to have a cartoon. It's kind of groundbreaking to just show a homosexual couple just in the cartoon and not saying like, "Hey, we're gay." It's just they're just there,
Yeah.
and so for a kid, it's just like, "Oh, that's there," and then that's how you end up not being 30 years old putting homophobic comments on Facebook and shit
Word.
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
I never
you
thought
just
about it
see
like
it on
that.
TV. Yeah.
I thought because the way they made it seem is gonna be like, oh, they're gonna sort of teach kids.
How they gonna teach kids?
I
how
don't
to
know.
be
I don't
gay?
know. But I guess I'm speaking like maybe like as a devil's advocate because that's also people's fears. Like, hey, don't teach kids sexuality. Because when I saw it, I kept thinking of my niece and nephew.
But
I was
think
like,
about our parents and our culture as well. That plays a part in it. And
Yeah.
like our culture, like for Africans, for like anybody in the Caribbeans or like even in Black culture, period. It's just like teaching your kid how to be gay or being gay is like a taboo.
Right.
Mhm.
Period. Like
For
don't
sure.
teach that, don't show it, don't say it, don't nothing.
Right.
So I feel like you kind of grew up with that mentality. But like now it's just like nigga,
Because
it's gonna happen.
we teach kids sexuality by not even thinking about it. Like when you see like a 4-year-old boy, I'm like, oh, you gonna get all the girls at school. That's teaching them sexuality.
that's crazy.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
And
they were
so-
telling me that. Yeah.
And so it gets to the point is basically it's like you you have a problem with what the kid is seeing, not what it is. Because if it was something else, you wouldn't say anything. You wouldn't. Because, like, think about all the violence on TV we watch all the time. Nobody says that.
You're not teaching your kids.
Well, yeah, that's false, nigga. People have a big issue with violence on TV. Like, I can't. Yes. What? I know multiple parents. All the parents that I know try to like monitor the violence, but it's so much that it's like you damn near have to put them in a box almost when it comes to violence. It's just way more than
Because
sexual.
the advertisement, all that.
Yeah,
shit.
it's like.
But then if you think about it, like, what about the parents who like buy all their kids like these video games and shit?
No,
That's
that's
what we're saying.
You know what
I'm
I'm
saying
saying?
like I'm with that in the sense of like. My thing is monitor all that shit if that's the case. Don't be on the sense of like, oh, this is it right here, man.
Right.
The gate, like,
Because I don't see any violent shows getting banned in Alabama. That's all
Right.
I'm saying. I don't see any shows getting banned
Right.
for violence.
Yeah. They would
well,
still be on
I'm sure.
TV.
I'm definitely sure.
They
I'm definitely
still-
sure there's been violent shows that have been banned. But I guess what I'm saying is, it's like that's my thing is if you don't be mad at just one side of things, and this side over here is 100% okay. My thing is a child should just be a child.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of pushing any of that shit on them. My thing is just like let a kid be a fucking kid at the end of the day,
Yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
it. Let
Yeah.
them go around, play outside, and do some shit.
Right.
That's I mean, and,
Yeah, because it's like, man, like that's the one time you can be like innocent and free,
Right.
right?
yeah.
And I don't know.
And to say to me, I think to go back to that, I guess because I want to get back on the animation 100%, but it's like we have to realize that TV does influence. We
For sure.
sit there and we sat there and said like, oh no, how are we saying this, pushing this and doing that and doing that? Nigga, it is.
Yeah,
Like
it's
we're
a- that's
all
form of
being
propaganda.
influenced by TV, nigga. It's been 100% proven, nigga. Studies have proven it. That's why we got to monitor. We're not even just what our kids watch, what we watch, nigga. Like.
Yo.
So music and shit has made me angry, nigga, and I've been like angry throughout the day after watching some shit, and it's
Nah.
ridiculous.
That's why it's called programming.
Exactly. So,
Damn.
that's real.
Oh
So
my
it's
goodness,
like
it's programming.
I think in all those aspects, we should be monitoring because I mean, as much as I love animation, I grew up on like Dragon Ball Z, nigga, and I was socking nigga, like you know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah, exactly. For real shit. You clearly don't watch Dragon Ball Z,
I
nigga.
don't know.
Right.
That's all I hear.
All you hear is powering up.
I'm like, I don't know what that is.
But that shit either makes you angry, some of it makes you a little bit more violent or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Music has done the same thing to me also. You know, and I've had to check myself like, nigga, I'm listening to either too much hip hop or watching like I came out of John Wick like, yeah.
I still need to see that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
If a nigga come up on me, I'm breaking all this shit up. You know what I'm saying? And it's fire too. John Wick 4 is fire. Nigga.
Sweet.
But yeah.
So do you think that the parents should monitor this episode of Arthur? Since Arthur really never had that like sexual preference, like
I think it all depends on the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't. My issue is that people have an issue with people that are monitoring also. Like you sitting there, you shouldn't monitor that. Like nigga, that's not your fucking choice.
Right.
This is my household.
their
Right.
If
It's my
they want to
child.
monitor that shit, I don't
Right.
I have zero issues with it.
Right.
If you don't want to monitor that shit, I don't have zero issues with that shit either.
Right, because when that child becomes a fuck up, you're not going to take care of the child.
Exactly.
That's my
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
shit.
That's real shit.
Right.
Word up.
And that's a whole different podcast where we're about to get into, nigga. So I was gonna say, do you fuck with anime at all?
Kind of. I'm not like super into it, but I definitely appreciate it. Like I've seen some like there's an anime movie I think is amazing. It was made in the 80s in Japan.
Akira?
Yeah, man.
It's considered the greatest of all time to
It's-
most people. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that movie was made in 84, right? And I still don't think America's made an animated film as good as that.
What?
What? wanna
I don't
see
think
it.
so.
I know about to say.
the hard part. Well, and
It's a
I
bar.
It's
and
not
I think
a kids movie.
yeah, it's not. But and I
I'm not
think
for adults. What
yeah.
animated adult film is America made? That's
Yeah.
just amazing.
America? Yeah. Well, Flashpoint is fire.
Better
But
than Akira?
huh?
Better
No,
than
but I guess what I'm saying is too. The reason why Akira is so I guess like prominent and so big and so influential is because at that particular time, that stuff wasn't even being done in animation. They
No.
spent so much money to make this type of facial expressions and stuff like that
Yeah.
that has never been done until then. So you have to watch it with those eyes. Because if you watch Akira now, you might be like, this is cool. You watch it now in 2019, you might be like, this is cool.
And it's set in 2019
But, like,
in the movie.
Oh, so you
Which
watched
is
it
crazy,
like
yeah.
growing up. So
I
like, growing up
watched
in
it. I watched it early 2000s, so it was still
Okay.
kind of later for me. But I'm sure, and I still was kind of like, God damn. But if I would have watched that like in the 90s, I would have been like, what the fuck is happening?
Let me tell you something. You see how you were looking at them when they had their moment? That's how I felt in that Bobby Dean episode. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Because I always ask people that because like I'm more of an anime fan than a regular cartoon fan. Because I feel like American cartoons, comedy wise, is way better. Like when I watch anime, there's very few animes that make me laugh out loud. Like Mob Psycho and One Punch Man, they kind of do their job. But like Dragon Ball Z kind of has some stuff too. But for the most part, I feel like American cartoons, when you say like stuff like Rick and Morty, Family Guy, Simpsons, stuff like that, those are classics when it comes to comedy. But I feel like on the action tip, we don't. We just don't compare.
We don't have it.
Wow.
Yeah, and you even look at like what you said.
A nerd. Wow, this is
oh yeah.
I
mean, I got the Capsule Corp sweater on right now. This is Dragon Ball Z shit. But I guess what I'm saying is it's like when it comes to American anime, I guess American cartoons, we're stronger in the sense of like comedies and just like stuff like that. But I think even with Boondocks, that's why Boondocks kind of took that style.
It was dope because it kind of combined the two in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why Boondocks, I agree with you, is one of my favorites. Like, I would call it an anime. Like, that's one of my favorites ever because what they did with the humor, the political stuff, and then they put anime in there and the fight scenes.
That kickball episode, I think, is one of the greatest things on TV.
Oh,
ever.
Shit.
Like, that was amazing. Have you seen that episode?
No, I'm sorry.
Man, you got to watch. You got Hulu?
Yes.
Please go
watch.
No,
he doesn't.
No, I do. I do.
Damn, this nigga called you broke.
I got the $7.99.
He didn't say for sure. Like, matter of factually, he was like,
you had to think about it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think about it. I was like, did it clear? Did the payment clear? I was thinking, did the payment clear? It cleared.
But no, it's a crazy episode because that episode, they don't really worry about the comedy too much. It's just like a straight up anime episode, but they're playing kickball. Like, it's something so simple, but
it's so fire.
It's kickball, but they turn it into like this crazy like anime style fight scene type shit. I mean, it's
funny because that's what I was thinking about with your Planet Black. Like you dealt with like political. You had, I mean, it's humor, but there was also politics because you talked about like it was sort of like Trump, where it's like, hey, we're a different color, we're all purple or something like that, or whatever. And then even illegal immigrants, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like you kind of make it.
Because that was like one of the ideas at first. Like I thought about maybe calling it illegal aliens at first, but I used to sleep outside the Planet Fitness, and so I saw the planet one day. I was like, nah, it's gotta be Planet Black. So that's how I came up with that. But like that's the cool thing about using. I really wanted to use the aliens in the show because I can kind of talk about things with a group of people that don't understand what's going on here. So like it's not a black person talking about this or a white person talking about it. It's somebody that's completely removed that doesn't have like a fight.
That's low key brilliant, to be honest.
Yeah,
because it's like I think at certain times, like if you even look at other cartoons here, the person that's either an alien or that's not, like even you look at somebody like Brian or kind of I guess Stewie and something, he's a baby, but like the alien on
American Dad,
they can get away with pretty much anything because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I have a joke in there where there's 3 aliens and they're running away from their planet and they're coming down, and basically one of the kids says, we'll be safe as long as we stay away from the high schools. And that's because all the school shootings have been going on.
Yeah.
And so like for them, they're just like, we just want to stay safe.
Yeah.
And so they actually they have these white people suits that they come down to Earth in.
Hilarious.
They're called the Privilege 11s.
Oh shit!
And so like they're not wearing them because they want to be white people. They just the white race is safer here, so that's who we want to be. But that's how they see it. They don't see it as like I want to be white. I just want to be safe when I come down here.
Yeah.
So I'm using aliens as a way to kind of like talk about culture in a way that like black people and white people can't really talk about it.
It's amazing because when I started watching Your Planet Black, and I actually started looking at the history of like black animation. I typed, let's see black animation.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you look at like starting with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, right? Even with Bugs Bunny, there's a Mammy episode.
Yeah.
This shit.
They had some racist cartoons.
Oh, absolutely.
For real.
The big lips and everything.
Yeah, and there was one where the kids were saying a prayer. There's 3 kids. They were actually, they made them ducks or birds, but they were all black, like black people, but they were birds. And all the 3 babies are praying, right? And they're saying like the Lord's Prayer, right? And the mom is like, man, these children are so cute, right? Like just making them like sound dumb as fuck, ignorant as fuck, right? But then as she leaves the room, one of the babies pulls out a book, and it's like the early bird gets the worm, and it's like you're programming kids, black kids, telling people that black kids are deceptive. Because the moment she gets to the room, she's like, why are you reading this book? And I'm looking at this is just yesterday. I was just like, yo, I'm watching this. I'm like, nigga, this is like in 1940, 1950.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Let me ask you a question that I think some people have been wondering, not probably here, just but maybe the country.
Oh, okay, so we're not smart? Okay.
No. Even here, I want everybody to answer this. is Daffy Duck black?
I don't think so.
You don't think Daffy Duck is black?
I ain't never met a nigga that
I
stuttered.
think
that
he
much.
light skinned. But
You think he light skinned?
No, that's black, obviously. But
Huck said light skin.
Wow.
I'm just playing.
Damn it,
Daffy?
You know,
colorism.
I don't know why I always felt like Daffy. I know black niggas that stutter. You don't know black niggas
That
that
much
stutter?
though? That spit and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
that much?
remember like what you call it? You better be ready.
Yeah.
No, I
Harlem
don't
Nights.
think he's. I don't think he's.
I'd
Black.
say Donald Duck is black over Daffy.
Yeah.
Just because the way Donald
think he- I don't think-
acts.
Well,
Yeah.
they got the thing around his neck, right? That's probably like a chain. or
A
something.
chain.
Former chain, he broke out.
Oh,
got
come
away.
On. Oh, come
I'm
on,
just-
man. Daffy? I don't know. I always thought Bugs was. No, Bugs is not. Nah,
Mm.
Bugs
Bugs
isn't black.
Bunny.
Bugs isn't black.
I mean, I feel like he's like one of those like cool white boys who like really like fit in with the black community.
I definitely think Lola Bunny is a black girl though.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Oh,
She's
off
Definitely
the
light
rip.
skin. She a red bone.
Yeah.
Isn't Betty Bop based off a black woman?
Really?
Yeah, I thought so. Like I was doing research when I was looking at animation. Like supposedly she's based off it might be Dandry.
Built wise, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, when you
Dorothy
start,
Dandridge, you saying?
yeah, because you
Really?
start doing research on like cartoons and stuff, because they're not gonna make a beautiful black woman in a cartoon.
Especially
They
not
just
back
made her
then.
hella
Yeah, yeah,
light
yeah,
skin.
yeah,
Hella
yeah.
light
Back
because
then.
everything about her, it was all rhythm. Her
Yeah.
hair was short, hair was curly. The white
Oh,
people
she
were-
had the natural back in the day.
Right,
She had the
right.
natural.
Right. I think about
Ooh,
even her
maybe,
waist,
huh?
hip proportion or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like very interesting. And even like in Dumbo, remember with the three birds?
Yeah.
Those were them
That
players.
that was racist.
That was Malcolm X before
Racist.
Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
That was
They
racist.
weren't in the recent movie, were they?
In this new Dumbo, I don't think
No,
so.
I
No,
don't
they
think
cut
so.
that
What?
out.
What? Because they knew that heat
Yeah.
was
Oh,
coming, bro.
Yeah, because that was
That
definitely
heat was coming.
So it's just amazing to see like the history of like black animation, where we get to this point now where you're making your characters powerful.
Yeah.
And we look at animation back in the day, like they're like, no, we're gonna still keep them dumb.
Right.
Do you still feel like it's racist,
Some cartoons.
or I mean, just in general, the animation world is like kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just when you look at the lack thereof, it's
Mm.
just like, where's our Rick and Morty? Where's our Family Guy?
yeah.
Oh.
Like even like the Cleveland show that wasn't made by black people.
Where
Not
you
even
got-
just that. They had
Yeah.
white people voicing doing the
Exactly.
voices, which
I thought that
which
was-
to me was very upsetting. I was
it
like,
was super upsetting to me, and it wasn't funny.
and then it wasn't
at
funny.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was excited for it when it first came out. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
Because
oh my
I
God,
mean-
it's finally they're gonna tell the black side. And I was
Yeah.
just
I
like,
don't know. I just
you didn't do that at all.
I like
like,
Family Guy as a show, but I just never liked Cleveland as a character.
word.
Yeah.
Because he was just black dude that talk like this.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
just kind of dumb and bad shit always
Loretta.
happened to him.
Yeah,
You know, and I'm just like, why can't he get bitches like Quagmire and
You
shit?
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
but then when we stereotype that and be like, oh, why he got to
Yeah,
get bitches?
that is true.
Right, right.
Because
That's
I mean,
true.
and then because like Cleveland show, I mean, I guess they had Sanaa Lathan played the mom, and then
Yeah.
I forgot the girl from Parenthood back in the day. She played the daughter, but
Daria?
it's like yeah,
She was bad.
but it was like
tough.
but still, I always felt like when I found out Cleveland's voice wasn't voiced by a black dude, I was done at that point with that
Yeah,
nigga.
I was done.
I was like, I'm finished with this dude. Are you serious? You have so many black voices at your
So
disposal.
many people.
Phil
And you
Lamar,
can't
all
even,
them.
because I always feel like the reason what makes me upset a little bit about animation and especially voice acting is that you can have white actors play a lot of black people and all these other characters, but it's very rare that you ever have a black person playing a white
white person.
character
Right.
on a TV show.
Mhm.
And to me, that's always been like, nigga, that's so backwards
Yeah,
to me.
why
Like,
can't we do it? We know everything about them.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Every
Yeah.
time they do our voices, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
very, very stereotypical.
For sure.
And we can do their voice without being stereotypical
It
if we
makes
don't
me
need
think.
to.
Y'all saw that bullshit trailer that was on the internet, that Loquisha movie.
Oh, I don't know. Is that real? Is that
I don't
is that
know.
clickbait?
I don't know, man. I think it's real because like the comedian that made it is like the writer and director of it. But my biggest problem with it was he don't sound like a black woman to me.
Come on,
Not at
man.
all.
He sounds like a white dude trying to be a black woman.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
You know
I saw that, and I didn't. The reason why I didn't get too upset, 'cause I was like, they're trolling.
Oh, super trolling.
I was like, this is a troll. This is not a real movie. It's not going to be put out. I need to see if it actually was in any festivals because I feel like this is a trailer
Mhm.
that they fucking with us with,
Right.
and it did its job. It got a lot of people pissed off.
Oh,
a
it
lot of people
did.
talking about it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't repost it or nothing. I
Me
was like, I'm not
neither.
giving
Nope.
it no retweets.
Gave
or
it
anything
nothing.
like
It's
that.
funny because
Yep.
like as a kid, I was upset that when Simba became an adult, it was a white man playing
Matthew
his voice.
Broderick,
Yeah, that bothered me.
and it was the y'all remember Smart Guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the brother, yeah.
The brother, he
Michael
was-
Weaver.
yeah,
I think is it Michael
No,
Weaver?
no, Jason
Michael
Weaver.
Weaver.
Jason Weaver. Sorry,
yeah.
Jason.
Played
My
the
bad,
son.
brother. My bad, brother.
Yeah.
He's a legend for
Well,
that.
in fact, Jason
Chicago.
Weaver. And this is even worse. Jason Weaver did the song voice, Jonathan Taylor Thomas
Did the kid voice.
did the talking voice.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, we'll use the black kid to sing, and then we're like the white people talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like it's called the Lion
And
King.
it shows you how much like culture dictates everything. Because now you look at the Lion King, and literally it's black people playing every single role.
Well,
Right.
I think too
And
now.
then they
'Cause
barely
that's how
let
they
Seth
should've
Rogen
did.
in the movie.
Yeah, but as they should. I think like you
It's
have
based in Africa.
Yeah,
Right.
you have it based there, and
Not
besides,
Silver Lake.
you're like, oh, we got
Right.
James Earl Jones.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's our black quota.
Yeah.
I don't know if the mom was black that played her. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think,
no.
I don't
What?
think she was.
I don't know.
No, in the Lion King.
In the
Yeah,
original
because
Lion
she
King.
was the mom in
Coming to America.
Coming to
yeah,
America.
it was.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't make
All
any
right, two.
sense.
Cool.
I mean,
We'll be Goldberg
you're
too.
saying it doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense, but they're like gonna kind of play it off like, oh, there's white people in Africa too. Even though we know that's not where they derived from,
Right.
they're just
Exactly.
gonna still say like, by the time the first Lion King came out, they was in Africa, so they're gonna try to use that excuse.
No, you know what's
what I'm
funny? Because
saying?
it's fine. If they're from South Africa, I get it. But Jonathan Taylor Thompson is from fucking Santa Monica.
But here's the
Right.
thing: it's all about this. What Hollywood and what I hear sometimes they try not to say Hollywood's racist. They'll try to say which it definitely is at points.
Right.
But I think too they go with hotness and at that
Exactly.
time,
Right.
JTT nigga.
Oh, no, I get it.
JTT
94?
was
He was
Home
the
Improvement?
fucking man.
Oh, Home
the man.
Improvement? Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't. The reason why I didn't have an issue with that because I was like, he was literally
They try to
like,
sell tickets.
yeah. The girls are coming to the theater to hear that nigga's voice.
Yeah, it's just like Donald Glover and Beyonce are not in it because they black. They're in it because they super popular.
Right now, they're
Right.
they're
They're
the
two
big-
hottest people in the world right now.
Yeah,
Right,
and then
right.
they both can just happen to sing.
Exactly. And so it's crazy how like culture dictates. I was talking to somebody the other day, man, if we had Twitter 10, 15 years ago, who knows what kind of black stuff would have got green lit.
Oh, hey, that's real.
Yo, especially if you think about Twitter, like what you said, like in the mid '90s.
But
Man.
a lot of niggas would have got in trouble too.
Oh,
Yeah.
More
Yeah, it
dead
would've been way
bodies.
worse, yeah.
Because to be honest, like Black Panther and Captain Marvel getting added to the MCU was really all the internet. Because they weren't a part of the original plan when they first like did it in 2008 with Iron Man and
Yeah.
Thor and all them. That was really a lot of like people being like, yo, we should add diversity to this.
But actually, it got kicked off by Blade. Blade kicked off the Marvel universe,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it-
I saw this article talking about that.
and that's what made me upset. Was like, we clearly sell.
Yeah.
And maybe they thought, yo,
They make all these excuses.
well, maybe they
They
were like,
keep saying that we don't.
All right.
yeah, because maybe they
For
were
some
like
reason.
Wesley sells, and then they put out. I mean, Spawn is a whole different thing, but they put out Spawn and they fucked the movie up. And if you
Yeah.
watch like Michael Jai White's interview, he'll say like the script was different and all that stuff like that. Spawn had the potential to be massive. Also, if you
That was
watched
the-
it,
at the time, that was the biggest independent comic book ever.
yeah. And if you ever watched the
Wow.
cartoon back in the day,
Mhm.
the cartoon was fucking edgy and crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think like you're right. I think right now whatever it's Hollywood 2 was hot. So right now they're like, all right, we got to put Donald Glover in there.
Yeah,
He can do the
you
voice.
have
We got
to.
to put Beyonce because they're the two hottest, and this movie is going to guarantee do 100 million if they're just in the movie voicing it out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't ready to watch Mufasa die.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'll
no.
be
We
never
never
do it
ready.
again.
We
Yeah,
never ready
yeah.
for that.
I watched
man.
I watched the cartoon again not too long ago, nigga, and I
Man, that
buckled
shit still breaks my
again.
heart.
I was like,
Like, why you have to do him like that?
Right?
Like, he didn't deserve that shit.
No, of course, right? That shit's incredible, man. When he dies,
Mhm.
you feel everybody feels like they lost their dad.
Yeah.
Yo.
well, what it was
That
was
impactful.
when Simba pushed him. When Simba
Oh.
was like, get up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wake up.
Wake up.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, nigga.
It's funny because you know the hyenas ate him because hyenas will eat a dead lion body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they couldn't show that though. Maybe
I
they
know.
show that in this one.
Fuck.
No, not. They should have like an extended or like a red band portion of it so
Yeah.
we can just watch that. Just eat this
Yeah.
nigga up.
My
Oh,
only problem is I'm still mad they didn't get the Migos to play the hyenas. I'm kind of mad.
Yo, that would
Oh,
have been
dog.
wavy.
That would have been so dope.
Yo, this movie would have been like.
Quavo tweeted Disney. He was like, "Hit us up. We ready. We get us in the studio."
Yo, that
wonder
would have
why.
been. That kind of would have been dope, eh?
They
Low-
could
What?
have
Yeah.
done a little
Migos?
That low
cipher.
key, that would have been fucking dope.
They could have done a little
Yo.
cipher and everything. Nah.
that yeah. I understand people saying nah, but if it was done right,
right. That
it
would have
would
been
have been
dope.
fire as
Nah,
hell.
it
To be
would've been
honest,
I don't think Disney was ready for all that.
no,
Nah, they're not
absolutely
ready.
not.
We're not gonna have
Absolutely
the
They
Migos.
said that's too black.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got you, Beyonce.
Right.
Stop.
So, like, have you networked with like other animators, like, or going to other conferences and?
No, that's kind of like the next thing I want to start doing is kind of like going to places where people kind of congregate
Right.
around animation and that kind of thing, and then kind of just like people of color that want to see it more.
Right.
Because I think Adult Swim has a new show with Tyler the Creator. It's called
Yeah.
The Jellies. That's like the only black adult animated cartoon right now.
I feel like he's the only one that kind of gets that weird,
get that pass.
weird kind of animation pass for black people right now.
Yeah.
Because he had even like Loiter Squad, which wasn't animation, but he kind
It
of
was
gets
funny
that.
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
little sketches.
Yeah, but I always say that too. I was like, yo, Adult Swim is the perfect place for some of these weird or dope, funny black animations to be on.
Mhm.
But it's always just, honestly, these corny ass shows that they pick up.
Yeah.
And I love Adult Swim.
I love Adult Swim. That's where I would love to go with my show.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that
I
was-
think it would be perfect because
Yeah.
I'm telling you that trailer when them dudes are smoking weed in the living room and the grandma comes in, she said, "What you niggas doing here?" And she's smoking that weed. Steal the weed from him.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this shit is.
I'm trying to be that type of grandma.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're already there with the gray hair.
Hold this.
All right,
Hold
there
that
you
for
go.
me.
Nah.
No, but I could definitely see it there. Like, what other projects are you just only focused on Black Planet, or do you have like other
Planet
things?
Black, yeah.
Planet Black.
I'm
sorry.
doing
Black
Black
Planet,
Planet is a whole different.
my fault. A little thirsty. A little
Yeah.
thirsty. My
Not
fault.
Black Planet.
I'm doing some other things like I'm writing a comic book graphic novel right now.
Oh no.
Because I realized like when Black Panther came out, me and one of my homies was talking and we were saying how like Black Panther's cool, T'Challa's cool, but I feel like every black person really fuck with Killmonger like heavy.
Heavy.
You know what I'm saying? But dude's a psycho murderer. And so I was like, what if you could take like Killmonger and put it into like a positive role superhero type thing? So I'm writing that right now, graphic novel type thing. And then I co-wrote a web series that's on Comedy Central right now called The Night Pigeon. It's like it's a black superhero comedy. So yeah. So
Is that what Roy Willis Jr.?
Yeah.
That shit was funny, dog.
Oh, thanks, man. You saw it?
Yeah, nigga.
Yeah,
that
I helped
shit.
write that.
When they were
This guy's all
in
humble.
the
Yes,
liquor
right.
store.
Yeah, man. I was
Bro.
there in New York when we shot it. I'm actually moving to New York next week. We're gonna do some more stuff with it, hopefully. So
Oh man,
This dude
I
comes
hope
in
that
all
keeps
humble. He's on
going,
a
dog.
Comedy Central.
man, it's on the internet, nigga. I'm already broke again from that.
Hey
shit,
man,
so
but you're working.
Right.
You're working.
That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
And you're making
Resume.
relationships. That's what's important.
sure,
Yeah.
for
When
sure.
it comes for us, I think that's where we can kind of get a leg up in the game is make these relationships, get with these people, and start to be like, hey, I actually got this idea,
Right.
and hopefully that since they see your skills, they take
Right.
a chance on you and
Right.
stuff like that.
I like the whole idea with animation because I remember even being a kid when I was in the 6th grade. I wrote a comic book,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's like it's not really our creativity when it comes to that aspect isn't like pushed upon. Our creativity is really only towards like sports and entertainment where you're on the stage, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like with that, like man, I used to love drawing.
Yeah.
So when I saw the animation, like the 5-year-old, 10-year-old in me was just like,
Sure.
man, that's fucking dope, man.
No,
like,
I feel that because like when I was a kid, me and my friend, we would like write and draw comic books and like sell them to the kids in the class for like quarters.
Right.
And so like that's one of the reasons like I'm writing one now as an adult because I want to like kind of fulfill that dream. You know?
yeah.
And I used to draw a lot as a kid. I want to get back into it, but I used to draw and write comic books and all that kind of thing. But I was an athlete too, and I kind of started writing comedy after I got hurt. I ran track in college, and so like I got hurt, and then I was like I should focus on something else, and so I started writing.
What's your 100? What's your time?
I ran 10.6 in high school. Yeah, it's okay.
All right, you got any more questions?
Yeah, he was like,
No, I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that. He said it from Mississippi too.
Once he said he ran college track, nigga.
I know, right?
You should have been like, he's real.
Right. No, you're right.
Right there, I'm like, this nigga's real. You made it to college.
Yeah, man, it was
But
fun.
and it's funny. I think it's funny how we all three, because I mean I had a black anime idea, and that's like my thing was I was always discouraged because since I didn't have anybody to help me do it or animate
Exactly.
it, I just always fell back from it. But I
Yeah.
have like the pretty much the base of the story, the plot and stuff like
Write
that.
that shit, man.
And I just got it. It's been sitting in my fucking
Laptop.
my phone,
That's-
my laptop for
I'm telling you,
years.
that's how Planet Black started. Like I started writing it in 2016 with I didn't know how to get it made. I was just like, I'm just gonna write it. And then this past year, I met the right animator for it.
Right.
So when it's ready, you never know who could come across your path. So.
I think another thing too, it's not looked upon as like it being cool. It's unfortunate, like in our culture, like when you do something, it has to be respected. And you need that validity. Like
Yeah.
comic books, like you're not gonna get no bitches.
You know what?
Exactly.
You know what?
Why? Because
Why?
growing up, like you had all those nerdy boys just like going ham with the fucking
Yeah.
comics and
What
shit.
ner-
So
I
I feel
think-
like growing up.
I think nerds got a certain look, and that wasn't necessarily the case.
Right.
Because
Right.
like I know for me, like my dad's a hood New Yorker dude, but like
Bed-Stuy to
me and my brother, we at least when we were kids, we all we did was collect X-Men comics. We used to have we had different 3-4 different booklets full of that stuff.
Yeah.
My dad used to take us to comic card conventions and everything like that.
Right.
And for me, I ain't gonna lie to you, I got bitches, so it didn't. I was able to do
let us
that.
know.
He's one of the rare ones.
I'm just being honest. I was able to do that. I always felt like I kind of had. It's like a weird
balance.
like a weird balance or a weird pass
Right.
to be with the quote unquote nerd kids, and then the athletes also, because I got respect in both fields. I knew my shit over
And
there.
I think there's a big group of black people like that.
I was about
There's
to
a
say
huge
that.
It's
group
just
like
the
that.
media tries to tell us like, oh, black people not into that, and that's why I'm
Exactly.
trying to write a comic book that like some hood ass nigga would really like. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
like,
it's weird that you say it now, because even seeing the way you walked in, I never even equated you with being a nerd. I was just like,
No,
oh, this is a dude
right,
that I
yeah.
went to like Norfolk State with,
Yeah.
that fuck bitches played Madden, but just likes that, you know what I'm saying, likes
Yeah.
animation.
Exactly.
You talk to a lot of black dudes, they can pinpoint either whether it's an anime or some cartoons that they still fuck with.
Right.
And it's-
I don't know too many black dudes that like under 40 that don't like Dragon Ball Z.
Word.
Exactly.
Wow.
And
So
like-
I was like,
That's
to
a
tell
fact.
me that we don't really like that shit, that's crazy. And just even like the outpour of love that Black Panther got, like niggas like watching this shit. Let's
Yeah.
I
make
also
let's
feel
make
like-
it now.
At a certain age, like certain guys like just fall off of it. Like, you know, like growing up, you was watching TV, so you physically saw it to your face.
Right.
Like when you grow up and you get older and you get busier, I don't feel like they're going out and searching for it unless you like stuck with it. You
Well,
know what I'm
I
saying?
think nowadays, since we have everything on our phones,
Right,
or
it's
everything
helping a lot.
is getting back to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I go back and watch either old shit or different stuff I didn't find, or like I told you earlier, some people know that I have an anime podcast.
Yeah.
And I started it because I wanted to give kind of like just a perspective of like how, I don't want to necessarily say how niggas talk about anime, but in a sense of like we just some regular black dudes that talk anime, like,
Right.
and we love this shit. And it's like, you know, we got a white dude on there, but that's our guy. but it's like at the end of the day,
My guy.
we don't sit there and be like, well, if you don't get the voices right in the name, you don't say the right Japanese dialect. You know what I'm saying? You're not really part of that world. It's like, bruh, at the end of the day, I watch this shit just as much as you do.
And I enjoy it.
And I enjoy it, and that's the main part about it. Is I enjoy watching this shit, and we talk about, we review anime every single day. I mean, every single week on our podcast,
Right.
and it's doing well.
That's dope. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, so, Cuck, you got anything?
I used to do animation myself. That's what I went to school for originally.
The lady's quiet this whole time.
Word.
This guy got
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
animated.
with you.
Where you been?
You know, this is
Hey.
one of those episodes. I just want to hear y'all talk about this.
Nigga, that's almost every
Why
episode.
don't you
I'm
wanna
sick of
talk
this
about
shit,
it?
man.
Like, you don't want to
I'm
talk about
sick
your
of it.
graphics.
I'm sorry,
you don't
bro.
wanna talk about your
But what I'm saying,
animation.
this nigga Huck was sitting in the corner, and he's part of the crew, and he was sitting there
like this.
and this nigga got questions. You know, we should have asked him. I mean, you
No,
should have asked
for
this
real.
nigga that.
I'm like, nigga.
I'm out here.
Yeah, no, I'm. As you can see from the characters up there, I've.
Yeah, you like an animation
Get a
work.
glimpse of that, Odin, right there.
Yeah,
all these characters,
all these
nigga
characters
has.
has. Or, no,
Yes.
they're not dolls,
They're not-
Keenan.
They're action figures.
They're my
They're my friends.
They're my friends.
Hey, you know what, Nas? I wonder if with the Planet Black, where you thought like long term getting into like action figures. I mean, of course, you know, once you have the fun
Oh yeah,
stuff
I
like
want to do it all, man. I want to have weed strains for every character.
That's right.
That is dope.
Yeah, that's
Hilarious.
like, I want weed strains for every character. I want toys, backpacks, all that shit, man.
That's
wavy.
different. I never even thought to go that
Word.
route with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Cause
idea.
I want because in the show there's the weed, like the alien smoke, the strain Planet Black, and that's why they abduct my character because they want him to come sell it in space because their planet's hit an economic crisis.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know, I got a voiceover.
Hilarious.
I got a voiceover reel.
All right.
You know, if you need it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, that's a good idea to pitch ourselves.
Yeah, to pitch ourselves.
If you ever need voiceover acting, well, you know, we're comics too. You know, us in the,
For
see
sure.
us in the scenes, and like I'm sure we got mutual friends in the
Yeah,
scene.
you know, just holla at me.
Mail it over to me. Yeah, I wanna because like I'm raising money on Patreon right now because I want to make the pilot independently. I want to make a whole half-hour pilot.
Hey, that's powerful.
And if
Man, you can
need
do
to
that shit,
record
man.
it.
You said what?
Oh, and then you got a good place to record. You see the booth.
Okay.
Space.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna hit y'all up because we kind of just grilled it, man. We just had microphones like the podcast thing and just did it, so it doesn't really
No,
sound
this,
no,
as
this,
great.
Nah,
this
he-
is gonna sound
No, no,
amazing.
no,
Honestly,
no,
honestly,
That's
this is
we
not
out
trying to
here.
oversell
That's
him.
his
This
thing.
nigga does amazing work.
Right.
I'm
That's
gonna
his
hit you up.
thing.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hit you up, man.
Because
Now.
we got a music series that we're working on. We recorded right here. That's how we
Yeah.
met him and able to do this podcast. And
That's
then she came
awesome.
along, whatever.
That's awesome.
Don't whatever me like that. The fuck? You better put some respect on my name.
But yeah,
She's gonna start a storm in here in a second. You better stop.
I know, no. Let me tell you something. You know,
Hood
look,
storm, nigga.
that's why Storm was black. The black women control the weather. Whenever they talk,
Oh,
they
they
grab in the
You know what
air.
I'm saying?
They do.
Tornado
I'm like,
gonna
I
come
feel like
run
I'm
through
like
this-
the modern Storm. You feel me?
I feel you.
Now you better than Holly Berry.
I am.
Yeah, that was kind of trash.
Hey,
Yeah,
Storm is black.
we love Holly Berry,
Not
but bro,
light-skinned.
Come on, man.
She
I'm
black.
excited for Marvel taking over the Disney Marvel taking over the
yeah,
X-Men.
yeah.
'Cause that what they did over at Fox was a
Brutal.
travesty.
You gonna watch the Phoenix movie?
Nah, I'm good.
You not
Really?
gonna watch
Why?
it?
I'm good, bro.
I'm gonna watch it, but
Why?
you know,
I'm gonna just wait till Marvel redoes
oh
redoes
yeah,
it.
Why?
Cause it's trash.
Fox.
What makes it trash?
Basura.
If you actually watch what Marvel's doing with their movies,
Yeah,
and
you can't
then you
even-
actually watch what Fox did with their stuff, you like, what?
It's
Why?
elementary.
Yeah,
It's like JV playing varsity. It's not.
yeah.
Mm.
And I feel like they were stubborn. We're gonna do it our way, and it's
Right.
kind of like we got tips for you. We're gonna do it our way, and it's kind of like, all right, motherfucker,
No,
you
no.
run
I
this
was-
shit into the ground.
I was talking about it the other day. I was like, technically, this Marvel thing might be the best like movie franchise ever. 22 movies.
is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
It is. Marvel's the
$20
best.
billion.
The
And then this
best.
last one's probably about to pass Avatar on the box office. If it,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
like, I think it's like 150 mil away.
Yeah, but when it's all said and done, it's probably gonna happen.
And then they said they got the next 20 planned. So I'm just like, shit, I need to get in on that.
yeah, somewhere.
But
Right.
that just tells you like creatively, there's like room
Mhm.
for us
Oh,
to
absolutely.
get into that genre.
Right.
Mm.
And I think right now there's no excuse nowadays when it comes to other things that we have access to and people that we're probably meeting now.
Yeah.
We can create a lot more opportunities for ourselves when it comes to this genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
and I think that's what we need to do. Like you said, you're right. Even with my thing, I gotta stop talking and get it done now.
Write that thing, man.
Yeah, at least write it, and then at that point go out and find
The
somebody.
way I see it, somebody wants to watch that. And that's
Right.
what it's all about.
Damn.
It's all
It's
about.
true.
It's
That's
about the
real.
man.
It's
Because like the reason I created Plain in Black is just like I wanted to write a show I wanted to watch, and so I was just like, yo, I want to watch a nigga sell weed in space with his grandma and his cousin. Let's do it. And so
I'll tell you, the grandma is my favorite. nigga.
that's what everybody's saying. She's voiced by a really dope comedian, Kalia McNeil. She's hilarious. Shout out to
Yo.
Kalia, but like,
Nah,
yeah.
that shit. The grandma, she walks in with the house slippers, nigga. That shit is
And
hilarious.
she's gonna be real integral to the show because I want to really talk about like Black history through her because she lived through it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Boondocks did with with the granddad.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
right,
kind of
right.
want to use her as a lens to like educate these aliens on what it was like in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, because she
and all
made
that.
reference to like Martin Luther King when they
Right.
were smoking weed. I was like, I see what he's doing.
Yep.
There's a lot of potential
Yeah,
here.
she
Yeah.
marched with Martin Luther King. So I want to do some jokes about how like she didn't see Bernie Sanders. there and shit
Wait,
like
she
that.
said something about how
Hilarious.
Martin Luther King rolls up his weed.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
Yeah,
funny.
She said MLK rolled the best spliffs, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
Wow.
I watched the trailer.
It's creative, sir.
Thank you, man.
Very, very
Thank you,
clever.
thank you.
Very, very clever.
Yeah, man.
I
I got a good team. I got a good team for sure.
That's good.
It
That's
sounds like
that's
you
another
going a
good thing
long
to
way
have
with this.
I'm trying.
around you.
I'm excited for you.
We got like 40 episodes kind of like mapped out and like in a like TV Bible type thing, and we got a half-hour pilot written. So just trying to get it to the right people, you know.
Man.
Yo, go all the way with it.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah.
The only
We're
way
gonna be
is
like,
up.
we had this guy on our show.
Right.
For sure.
He's like, you don't gotta tell me. I'm already going all over.
He's like, I'm ready doing
It's
it.
already there.
That's how you're supposed to think, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
You got anything else?
I don't know. I guess I'm glad to see more of us and I guess our faces in this world because, like I said, we don't see us much in this, and I like the fact that even what you're doing with the that's a whole different kind of concept. That reminds me of like your own Rick and Morty, but I don't want to compare it to that because it's his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's his own style, it's his own thing, and it'll be dope to hear people compare it to what yours is.
For sure.
You know, people are like you, man. That's your version of Planet Black.
Yeah.
That'll be
Right,
dope as hell.
that's a
Hell
dope
yeah.
And that's where
compliment.
you wanted to
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure you probably wanted to get to.
Yeah.
So it's just good meeting somebody else or meeting somebody in that way. And I definitely want to be in touch even when I start getting my stuff done, and just
sure.
to see if you just know other people that can animate and stuff like that.
For sure.
Meeko, got anything? Huck, you got anything?
I just need you to like create a modern day Storm, and I'll be okay.
I didn't even realize
You
it was
know,
Jack Daniels
I don't
that you were drinking.
Yeah.
Wow, why you gotta put me on blast?
Damn.
Like
The camera
we
sees
was
everything.
Mad discreet. No, it don't.
It's the camera.
It's down here.
Come on, man.
Have
Well-
one.
You know, he's
This nigga Loki. Okay, but I guess before we get out of
Go
here,
ahead, go ahead.
who is your favorite Black character of all time?
Favorite Black character of all time?
Dun, 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 dun.
Cartoon wise?
Yeah.
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus. Nah, he was hilarious.
Easy,
bruh.
man.
Yo, nigga, Uncle Ruckus.
That nigga.
When this
there.
nigga said the black woman's body is the temple of doom, I remember I cried the first time. I was laughing so
Oh
hard.
my gosh.
And then the Martin Luther King episode, when Martin Luther King comes back And he was like, nigga, I've been trying to kill your marching ass since 1959. Like, that's just, like, I feel like they used Uncle Ruckus to just say, like, all these things people want to say, but they can't. And it's brilliant. Yeah,
Uncle Ruckus is probably one of the most diabolical characters.
Hilarious.
And just cartoon. It's in history. This nigga's wild.
Like, how do you even come up with that? This dude's on some other shit, man.
Yeah, I forgot the guy that plays his voice.
Gary Anthony Williams.
Yeah, because I remember at one point he was going outside and like dressed up as
and
him.
He would do it.
And he would do it. And I was like,
at like Comic-Cons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Word.
He went outside as Uncle Ruckus and that shit was just, it was nonstop laughs.
He did a video with Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club where he like called in as Uncle Ruckus. Shit was hilarious.
Oh my
They just
goodness.
riff for like 20 minutes. It's Charlemagne arguing with Uncle Ruckus over like modern day stuff.
Yo.
Gosh, wait, I need to see that. How I missed it?
It's on YouTube. Definitely just Uncle Ruckus Breakfast Club. So
I'm gonna
funny.
do that.
It wasn't as swavy as you.
I say schwavy.
All right, very good. Huck, you got anything?
Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Yes.
The fact that you was an animator too, Huck, I'm heated right now.
I know, I'm so
And you
heated.
didn't
I
say
feel
nothing.
He just didn't look. He left us nothing.
This is what we told you before. This
Nothing.
nigga has too many secrets, dog.
I know. I didn't know his name until like episode 10.
But here's
Yo,
the
bruh.
thing. I'm doing music now. So there's a reason.
But you have a past.
What does that mean?
No, you can say, well, yeah, I animated some shit before.
Yeah, I mean, I made a character called Stogie.
What about him? What happened?
It was like a cat that smoked cigars.
Hell yeah.
And it was like a cowboy or something like that.
You
That's
have
dope.
is it up somewhere we can watch a little bit?
No, this was the project at school. That was basically the only character that I created.
You was not
And that
fucking
was
with
it.
that shit, huh?
And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta do music.
Oh, you wasn't fucking with it. You wouldn't fuck with animation.
that's
was it?
why
Was
you
it?
don't
Did
talk
you not
about
fuck with it
it.
because it was too hard, or you kind of just like, this is not my thing?
Well, there was a program called, it was something with an M, and that's when we got into the 3D modeling of the character. So I was doing like the whole Pixar stuff, and
Right.
and you know, and at that point, I was like, the type of people that was around me, it was just not the right vibe. Like like I wasn't with, and it's not like you weren't the type of people that was at the school. It was the people that's creating it in a way. It's like you got to be in a, like that animator that you work with.
Mhm.
In a way, is he a little different from you? Just or no? It's
No,
just I mean he's
a little bit,
pretty close, but
he
yeah.
told me like in his program he went to DePaul. He was like, it was pretty much like all white people.
Yeah.
It was. He said
mean,
he felt
not-
very different in his
Not
class.
not that
Right.
I'm against white people or anything, but
No,
it's
but you
just
want to be
something-
familiar with.
It's just it
I
was
get that. That's how I
That-
felt at
that-
film school. I was like the only black
didn't
person.
And that's why we're not as encouraged to get into animation when you don't see somebody like that looks like you
Exactly.
or even shares your interest, because you can be white, but it'd be like, oh man, you have that idea. Okay, that's cool. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
just found myself going to school and I was just like alone, and it was just very
Damn.
long. And they even told us like when you working for like Pixar and stuff like that, like your whole life changing. My life didn't line up with that type of lifestyle. Like basically sleeping in bunk beds at the studio. Like
Right.
nah, that's
That's amazing. That's a whole nother world of
Finding
animation.
Nemo cool, not that cool. Nigga.
Got niggas sleeping in a bunk bag at 39 years old.
Bunk beds.
Crazy.
Nah, but babe, I'm pretty sure the studios is crazy. But I'm pretty sure it looks cool but nah, that's not my lifestyle.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole nother. It's like being in the army almost. Like,
Mm.
yeah, from what I was told, maybe it changed, maybe the
Right.
schedules, but I mean, you got to think about it. To make something move, it's not like we could just.
Act,
He could
yeah.
turn his camera to you. You just start acting. No, it's
Academy
a
Award.
lot. It's a lot of time. So I was like,
Mhm.
nah, that's not me.
And I had a cousin. That's who I was trying to work with, but he's way over in Philadelphia that does animation. And I know he'll tell me at times. I guess kind of that little bit of that struggle too. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not being around the people. So I mean, I want to get him back into it. I was trying to do it so I had family, so we had a family team creating this shit.
cool.
Right.
But it was like that's why I've been trying to get him out here for the longest. Like, yo, you need to move to LA, dog. At least so we can work, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Get him out here, man. Y'all need to do that. I'm trying to
Yeah.
watch that.
Yeah, it'll be a dope anime, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Let's plug in our social media. So you can follow me at Aziza Funny. Follow Pee-wee Helms Music. Follow What's the Podcast on Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, share. The S word, share.
Please.
Always so aggressive, huh?
Now.
Braces.
Yeah.
Racist. Let's say braces.
Oh, that too. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Keenan Baker on everything. Keenan Baker _ on Twitter. KEENAN. Get my comedy album. It's on all streaming platforms.
Holla.
I Might Need Therapy.
Holla.
Some different. It's one of the greatest comedy albums to ever hit, and that's from me. I'm saying that.
Holla. It
Post that
is.
shit.
Follow me at Space2813 if you want to record some animation here, some songs. Let's do it. And follow me on Fresh As Me, AZME1. I'm not following you back. Just warn you.
He wants to keep his
Why is
followers
that?
and following very.
Go
very-
ahead, Storm.
My God. Well, I'm Storm. I'm kidding. You can follow me on everything on Meeko Cicero. That's MEEKOCICER.
And our special guest, Niles. Where can we follow you? Follow Planet Black. All that.
Follow me on Twitter at Niles100. I'm on Instagram at The Niles Abston Show. If you want to watch Planet Black and any of my other shows, go to Channel 310 on YouTube or Channel 310 TV on Instagram. We got live shows, podcasts, our new cartoon, all that kind of stuff. It's a whole digital comedy network. And then follow Planet Black on Instagram. That's Planet BLAK. Thank you so much for letting me be on here, man.
Thank you for coming. Holla. So that's What's the Hook.
Hey.